My girlfriend and I have been together for about 2.5 years. When we first met, she was a little chubby, which I was okay with, but I have always had a fear of her gaining more weight over time. Now she has. I have never had a preference for bigger women, and I find myself starting to lose attraction, but I still really love her. The problem is, anytime I try to bring up health or suggest small things like going on walks or eating lighter meals together, she takes it personally. She says things like, "Why are you calling me fat?" and gets really emotional. At the same time, she tells me, "Let me know if I ever start gaining too much weight." But when I try to hint at it gently, she gets upset or shuts down. Feels like I am stuck in a loop. I try to be supportive, but anything I say is taken the wrong way. I am not trying to be judgmental or hurtful, but I feel like I am walking on eggshells. What would you do in my situation? I do not want to break up over something like this, but I do not know how to approach it anymore without hurting her or hiding my own feelings. What would you do if you were in my position? Story 1. At some point, if you do not have an open and honest conversation about this with her, it will reach a point where you begin to resent her, and you will not be able to hide it. She has to be honest with herself as well. Chances are, she already knows she is gaining weight, but she is in denial about it. She is essentially expecting you to play along in her denial, which is why she becomes defensive when she feels you are bringing it up in subtle ways. I cannot imagine how awkward that conversation will be, especially if you really love her. However, if you are starting to lose your attraction to her now, chances are it will only get worse. Story 2. Yeah, that's tough, brother. I would avoid using the phrase, "tell me if I start to gain too much weight," entirely. Based on her actions, she does not want to hear that at all. Story 3. She is going to get upset. I told my wife. She became angry, so we got a personal trainer whom we see together, and now we are both strong. They also provided an introductory weight loss program that tracked body mass index and fat content, which really helped to have a third party oversee the progress. Story 4. She knows she is gaining weight. You do not have to tell her. She will not lose weight for you. Speaking from personal experience as someone who has dealt with weight issues all my life, which has caused relationship problems. If you are not happy with the fact that she is heavier, you need to be honest with yourself, not her. Do not stay with her out of hope that she will return to her original weight. That is not how it works with someone in the middle of a weight crisis. Stay with her if you love her and can accept her exactly as she is right now. Otherwise, it is better for both of you to end it sooner rather than later. Story 5. I don't know, man. When I first got together with my boyfriend, I made our dates into hiking and picnic outings to make our lives more active. We also went on nature walks or trips to the zoo, where you can walk up to 20,000 steps at a time. Over time, it became a routine and this active lifestyle became normal. I didn't make it obvious that it was exercise. I just said I was bored and wanted to go out. Let's go hiking tomorrow. My boyfriend had a fear of running and would always be upset whenever I suggested walking faster or jogging due to an incident where he was hospitalized and developed some post-traumatic stress disorder. But it slowly built up and suddenly he became like Forrest Gump. I think it took 2.5 years for him to start running. Make it a weekly holiday trip or something. I'm ashamed to say that now I'm not the active one. The roles have reversed. Story 6. Based on your post, my impression is that the main issue is not the weight gain, but the emotional manipulation. If you tell her, it's your fault because you are calling her fat and hurting her feelings. If you don't, it is still your fault because she asked you to let her know. I am sure if you point out that she is an adult and it is not your job to control her weight, that would not be well received. I would seriously reconsider a relationship that is based on these premises. Story 7. It is a good test for your relationship. You should be able to talk to her and be honest. If you cannot do that, then there is a problem with the relationship itself and you might be better ending it. Story 8. Here is what you do. When you have to have a tough conversation with a woman, you need to prepare her. Tell her, "Today, I need to have a conversation with you." It's a difficult conversation that is hard for me to talk about because I feel like when I bring up sensitive subjects, you break down or shut me down. This creates a dynamic where I can't come to you when something is bothering me, and I don't want that. I know you don't either. Please prepare yourself. Let me speak. And be as open as you can to hearing me. Trust me, this will help. Catching emotional women off guard is not the way. Then speak your heart. Be kind. Be respectful but true to yourself and honest. Tell her you love her, you're attracted to her, but if she continues down this path, you are concerned for her health and afraid you may lose attraction based on her current trajectory. Reassure her. Tell her you love her and you'll support her, but this is a genuine concern, and you don't want to be made to feel like a jerk for bringing it up. Signed, an emotional woman who is always obsessed about her weight. Story 9. Tough spot. I'd say she is sensitive because she already knows and is frustrated about something related to weight loss. The biggest piece of advice is to offer your help from a non-threatening standpoint. For example, make dinners, offer to go on a walk after dinner, pack her lunches, and so on. Instead of having a direct conversation, helping to create healthier habits could be more effective. Story 10. I had to go to the hospital for surgery 18 months ago. Generally, we are fairly healthy, but my partner is a little overweight and has a family history of diabetes. While my girlfriend was visiting, I said something along the lines of, "Look at all the people here. We don't want to end up here early. We need to take care of ourselves now so we can enjoy long, loving lives together doing the things we want." I think if you come from a place of love, it is a good start. Everyone in my ward was overweight and or smoked. All of them looked miserable. Hit me deeply. We have been home cooking meals ever since. I am not sure this helps. I am just sharing my experience. Maybe find some people struggling and express how you feel for them and how both of you need to get on track. Story 11. I think you should leave her. Weight fluctuations throughout life are common for many people, and if you do not love her in a larger body, then you should let her go. Story 12. It is situations like this that make me resent how some people detest liars. What do you expect me to do here? Story 13. It is emotional manipulation and you, sir, will not win. She is playing a game she has undoubtedly been practicing for a very long time. If you play, you lose. If you do not play, she gets bigger and bigger, which will only compound the situation, making any further discussion even more difficult. You can pull the band-aid off, have an honest but kind conversation and hope for the best, or leave, or you can just live with it. Story 14. I am a female. It's all about how you say things. Your girlfriend just wants to feel secure and reassured around you. First, tell her how much she means to you and how much you love having her in your life. Then, tell her that you really want to focus on both your health and hers. You want to look nice and stay in shape for her, and you want the same for her. Tell her how attractive you found her when you first met and how perfect she looked. You want to see her like that again, which is also good for her health. I suggest you make a workout plan together. There are free online workout videos available. Also, consider making changes in your diet. Say that you want to focus on a healthy lifestyle, which will help both of you look good and have a healthier future together. She needs to understand and listen to your genuine concerns. Explain that looks matter and that you want both of you to look great because health is important in the end. It will be in your best interest. Approach the subject this way and see how she responds. Talk to her first, then suggest a plan of action. A relationship is about making compromises. Both of you need to meet halfway. If you are expressing genuine concern for her well-being, she can't possibly be upset. You are saying this as her equal partner and well-wisher, not as a stranger. Try it this way and see how it goes. Story 15. Break the eggshells and tell her the harsh truth. It will be difficult, but if you cannot have an honest conversation, then the relationship is doomed regardless. Story 16. You are not wrong for feeling how you feel, but attraction and weight are sensitive topics. Focus on health, shared goals, and how she feels in her body more than how she looks to you. Story 17. She knows she has gained weight and she also knows how to make you feel like the bad guy when you bring it up. If she is not willing to go for a walk or slow down on heavy meals, then she does not care what you say or think. It is not going to get better. Start separating yourself now. Story 18. Brother, this is a battle you will never win. What you can do is start working out yourself. Then at some point she will want to join in, and then you both can work out together. There you go. Story 19. She already knows. Do not say anything. You should probably leave because communication is part of the literal foundation of a relationship. If you do not have that, find someone emotionally mature who takes care of themselves. Story 20. I dated a girl like this for a long time. I loved her with all of my heart and would have done anything for her. But I can also acknowledge how much energy I spent trying not to hurt her feelings, even about much smaller things than what you have explained about your situation. A large majority of my concerns had absolutely nothing to do with her looks or physicality at all. Regardless, afterward, I was left feeling like I gave a tiny bit of myself up over and over again by keeping these small things bottled up. But over time, those things start to add up. In the end, I still love the girl, but I also have to acknowledge it was not healthy for me, nor for her. Take that how you will. Story 21. Everyone is prone to gain weight as they get older, especially in America. She is going to be heavier. That is the reality and her future. She will most likely keep getting bigger. Figure out how much you love her. Story 22. Brother, I hate to say it, but you cannot win this. She will not lose the weight for you, and even if by some miracle she does, it will not stay off and you will be back here in a year or two even further into the hole. Grasp the nettle now, leave and get a thin one off the rack. Look for lifestyles and interests that have no impetus to gain weight. Apparently, you are into athletics yourself, so it should not be that hard. I understand this is not the answer you want, and your instinct is to try to build with what you have, but we have to be real here. Either way, I am rooting for you, man. Story 23. I see a lot of sound advice already, but I want to weigh in as someone who has been that person and had a partner telling me I had gained weight and he was worried about my health. Objectively, at that moment, I was healthier than he was. I eat a variety of foods and love vegetables. I walk a lot, and while I had gained weight, I was not officially overweight. He, on the other hand, was very skinny. He did not eat during the day, only drank cola, and ate a small meal at night, usually very bland in color. So yes, he was smaller than I was, but his arguments at that time really rubbed me the wrong way because it was clear it was not about my health but rather his attraction to me. Before using the health argument, make sure the person is actually unhealthy. There is a weight range where we are not skinny but not necessarily unhealthy either. Story 24. It is hard to win here. Ask if she wants to go on a diet with you. Cutting carbohydrates to almost zero helps a lot with losing weight. The ketogenic diet is really popular, especially among women. If it is to the point that you are losing attraction for her and she does not want to do anything about it, then that is your sign to leave. Doing something about it involves first acknowledging its presence. If she cannot have the tough but necessary conversation about it, then that is your sign to leave. Story 25. You need to figure out for yourself whether it is actually her gaining weight that is the issue or if it is because you value different things and these things do not align. For example, you value a healthy lifestyle. Then maybe you value different things. Story 26. Honestly, the best way to approach this is by leading by example. Eat healthy and exercise without her while always inviting her. Don't mind if she gets upset. If she doesn't take up on it after a month or so, then try sitting her down and talking to her like you did here. Say, I try to talk with you about this, and you tell me to talk with you about this. But every time I do, you get upset, and I don't feel like I can talk with you about it. Humans are not supposed to be obese. We are not meant to have as much access to unhealthy food as we do. We are supposed to move daily for our survival needs. We don't have to do that anymore. It's extremely easy to be unhealthy. Everyone who is overweight is insecure about it to a certain level. Everyone who is overweight knows they need to lose weight. It causes many health issues because our bodies are not meant to handle being overweight. She is extremely insecure, and my heart goes out to her. I've been in a similar situation recently. I'm short, I gained 10 pounds over a year, and my ex-boyfriend lost some attraction to me as well. He never admitted it, but it was obvious. I would say the same things she did. Honestly, him never admitting it hurt more long-term because he wasn't willing to be truthful, and he felt like the truth would hurt me more than a lie. Your girlfriend knows you've lost attraction. You don't need to tell her, but you should talk with her about it anyway, because you deserve to be with someone you're attracted to and who takes care of themselves, if that's what you're looking for. Most people are. Story 27. Maybe you need to be brutally honest. What you describe is no way to live, frankly. Hey babe, I love you, you know this, but you've gained weight to an alarming degree and I worry you are hurting your health. Plus you told me to tell you, so I am telling you. When she cries, let her. When she is finished, tell her you do not understand her tears as she asked for honest feedback, and that you are ready to go to counseling on this topic because it is unfair. Worst case scenario. She remains in denial, and you exit the relationship. Best case scenario. This makes her realize she is acting wrongly and the issue is addressed. Story 28. What is going to drive you crazy is that I promise she will get in great shape after you break up with her. Story 29. Hurt her with the truth or just break up. The only result of walking around on eggshells like this is you ending up miserable and her never learning to deal with her sensitivity or growing up. Only insecure and childish people get sensitive about something as simple as weight when it is something we can all control 100%. I have been obese and am still overweight, trying to get back in my best shape, and I would appreciate it if my partner would simply say it in a gentle way like, "Hey baby, I love you, but I am starting to lose some attraction for you with the weight you have been putting on." Before you get mad or sad, remember that you told me to tell you if you started gaining weight. Also, remember that I cannot help feeling the way I feel regarding my attraction, just as you cannot control your feelings regarding weight, but I can help you through it. Any partner I have been with who was super sensitive about things they can actually control has usually been a headache to be around long term because they act like children, never taking accountability for their own issues. So either break up or rip the bandage off, but do it in a gentle way. Story 30. Whatever you do, do not marry her. I made this mistake believing all the things she said about losing weight. It never happened and got much worse. Leave while it is still easy. Story 31. You cannot have a relationship where you are afraid to communicate and be honest with your partner. Aside from desirability, your partner gaining weight is also a health risk. If I were in your position, I would bite the bullet and communicate my thoughts. Even better, write them down and share a letter or a screenshot of your notes with her. That way, it takes the emotion out. The bigger problem is the communication and the emotional issues she is dealing with. Her weight gain is a side effect. Story 32. Original poster, write everything you just said here in a letter to her. She needs to be informed of your feelings, as this is beginning to erode the relationship. That she cannot or will not discuss things in person is another issue, and a significant one in my opinion. You also need to get this off your chest if there is a chance of moving forward. I have used this, admittedly with varying degrees of success, with a few partners who were avoidant. This gives them a chance to read and reread in a non-threatening, non-triggering environment on their own time. Good luck. Story 33. You have to have the conversation, even if it is unlikely to really change anything. If you do not, it will get worse quickly. Story 34. I've been there before. Unfortunately, it is not your problem anymore. The ladies do not like it when you tell them they are overweight, so do not tell her and just leave without giving a reason. Make sure you set yourself up with some emotional support in case they play victim. If you tell her about her weight and then break up with her, she will say that is the reason you dumped her, and you will be canceled socially for doing nothing wrong. Leave the relationship when you are ready. Take your time. Story 35. My question is, how does she feel about working out, going to the gym, or running? Is that a welcomed place or activity? I suggest you two start going there together, no questions asked. Like a date, gym or workout, then dinner, movie, or some other fun activity to ease into it. Use incentive or reward, and make it something you can do together. Some days it can be like, no gym today, we just have fun, or go to the park for a walk. Get a dog and walk it together. For example, an approach could be, hey, woman that makes my thunder loins go blazing, or something funny or silly that fits your personality and style. I plan to start going to the gym. I want you to know, I need you there with me, sharp. Then find a schedule or days. Afterward, we can hit a favorite place for food or fun, like movies, a carnival, roller coaster, or arcade. Also, did you have AI format your text? Story 36. Write her a letter. When communicating a difficult message, it is best to use the sandwich technique. Positive, negative, positive. Explain you love her a lot and feel happy and secure in your relationship. If you want, you could list some other things you love about her. Explain that on numerous occasions she has asked you to tell her if she starts to gain weight. Explain she is gaining weight and you are concerned for her health and joints. In a separate sentence, say you are also worried that your attraction to her will fade and you do not want that to happen. Explain you want to be sensitive to her feelings, but without neglecting your own. Explain this is a difficult message for you to deliver, but that you acknowledge a healthy relationship consists of two healthy individuals who can be honest with each other, and for the needs of both to be met. Explain your hope is that you can meet in the middle and move over this problem together, and that you have every faith that you can. The most you can do is this. Your duty is to be honest, and, though that may feel uncomfortable, every woman would absolutely prefer that. It is, fundamentally, in her best interests anyway. And then you have to accept that you cannot control how she will feel. Neither is that your job. Story 37. Time to just do it and deal with the fallout. Find a good way to go about it. Listen, we need to talk. I think we've been eating a bit unhealthily lately, and I don't want to be 100 pounds heavier by next year. I would love it if you did this with me. Getting a bit healthier. If she asks, just say, I love you. I'm still very much attracted to you, but yes, you've put on a few pounds, as have I. Let's start slow and see if we can do this. Some people are better with incentives other than the obvious. Some people are better at having cheat days and still having access to fatty foods. Some people need cold turkey. In a year, she'll be heavier, you'll be miserable, and it will just end in the same place. I feel the media loves to mix appearance and feelings in an unfair way. If you love someone, you should be attracted to them no matter what. That's not the case at all, in my opinion. Story 38. Not a dude, sorry, but if you intend to stay with her, then you need to be able to have the tough conversation. Look up tips on how to break bad news to people. Tell her you want to have a tough conversation. Sit down and start by reassuring her that you love her, you want to stay together, but you want to support her with something. Get her to acknowledge that she knows you have a good relationship. Next, remind her that she has asked you to tell her if she has gained too much weight. Tell her yes, you are uncomfortable with the amount of weight she has gained. That is the only thing you need to talk about regarding weight. You don't have to bring anything else up. But have answers prepared because she is probably going to ask if you are still attracted to her, where your relationship stands, whether you would leave her over this if you are being shallow, and many other questions. It is okay for her to sit there and cry. This is very emotional for her. Let her feelings come out, but don't let them derail the conversation. Try to say your complete piece first. Right now you love her, you want to stay in the relationship, and she has gained weight. If you can focus on facts. She has to make this decision on her own. It is her choice. Let her know you want to support her fully, whatever she wants. You have ideas that could help, but don't start throwing them out. Ask her if she is ready for change. If she needs to think about it, let her think about it. Reassure her again that you love her and want to support her. You don't have any ambitions beyond working with her through this. If she wants to know more about the future of your relationship or how it impacts things, try to bring her back to actionable choices she can make and that you want to support her. You are not giving her an ultimatum or abandoning her, but you have come upon a problem you have both identified, and you want to see how you work through it. You're focusing only on supporting each other in your partnership, confronting this problem, and taking it one step at a time together. If things do not change, obviously that will be another conversation down the road. But right now, you just want to face the problem together and support each other toward a common goal. If you feel you can't lead her through a positive conversation, then do this in front of a therapist and have them lined up to work with her afterward. Good luck. Story 39. Like most people are saying, she is aware. She is likely well aware that it is affecting your attraction to her, which is why she is sensitive when you bring up the topic. The full scope is whether you would be happy in a relationship with her at her current or likely larger size. If the answer is no, you either break up with her or have a conversation that essentially boils down to, if you do not lose weight, I will leave. You will want to soften the approach, but that is the nature of the conversation. This is not about judging you for feeling how you feel. It is just what it is. You are attracted to what you are attracted to, and it does not serve either of you to stay if you are not happy. Story 40. Hey, remember you told me to be honest when you gain too much weight? This is the time I should tell you, and only because I don't want this issue to influence our relationship. What we have is amazing, but I also know I'm more attracted to your old body from when we started dating. Shall we work out together? So you don't feel like you are putting in all the effort just to please me. I will spend time and effort through the process too. Or is there anything else I can do, like cooking you delicious protein meals after you work out? Story 41. You are not going to get anywhere with her regardless of the weight issue if she breaks down, attacks you, and goes on the defensive whenever you try to talk things out. You cannot make progress with people who shut down like that. They often have many other issues that stem from things like the weight issue. That is just a symptom of bigger problems she has, and you are not obligated to care for her until she is ready to confront her problems. You are not her father. If she does not want to change or make an attempt, you have no obligation to fix her life. Either you set clear boundaries about her behavior and her unwillingness to maintain balance in the relationship, or you walk away. It is that simple. Your sanity and dignity are worth more than trying to fix people who are not willing to meet you halfway. Yes, it sounds harsh because of her weight issue, but she has deep insecurities that you will only enable. This will make her more desperate and clingy toward you until, years later, you are practically babysitting in your relationship. This is often what happens in situations involving people struggling with obesity. Story 42. If she asks you to tell her when she is gaining weight, respect that wish and tell her. Sure, she will cry a bit, but she will get over it and decide what to do. Communication is an important skill, and if you are scared to talk to her about things that bother you, the relationship will not last. An issue you do not talk about does not exist because she cannot know it is an issue. Story 43. You have to sit her down and just tell her. Do not hint at it or she will think you are making jabs at her weight. You need to tell her it is bothering you, that you still love her and are willing to help her, but it is affecting your level of attraction. It will be hard for her to hear, but at least she will know that you are being serious, not mean. What she does next is up to her, and you can base your decision on that. Story 44. I never understand people who give advice or have relationships where you cannot say anything. What is the point then? Just be straightforward, and that is it. Keeping secrets and feelings only causes long-term hurt. Story 45. You do not have to tell her how much she weighs. She already knows, and she also knows that you do not like it. She is not the person for you if you cannot handle any physical changes. I suggest finding a different girlfriend. Story 46. At the same time, she tells me, let me know if I ever start gaining too much weight. But when I try to hint at it gently, she gets upset or shuts down. She is setting you up to be the bad guy when you eventually break up with her because of her weight gain. Story 47. Stop hinting and be a caring man. You told me to let you know when your weight was becoming an issue. It is becoming an issue. How do you want to handle it? I am here to support you, not fight or make this harder. Talk to me. You used artificial intelligence to write this post, but you can't ask it to help formulate your thoughts into kind and respectful communication with your girlfriend about her weight. If you normally use dashes but can't write your thoughts in a respectful tone, that's a skill issue. When artificial intelligence does it, learn how it took what you said and changed its tone. Don't just let it do the work and remain unskilled. If you approach it from a stance of support and care for her, and you don't want to see her take years off her life by being unhealthy, that is great communication. I am comfortable in my weight. I wasn't for a long time. You need to ask yourself what happens if an outside factor that neither of you can control makes her gain weight, like medication. Are you going to leave her then? I'm not saying let the weight gain become a way of life, but what if it is much harder for her to lose fat? If you start talking about yourself and how it makes you feel, it is going to lead to insecurity on her part and maybe worse eating. She may be using food as a coping mechanism. She is probably stressing about something and needs to talk about it, but she is fearful. Maybe the last time this happened, her past partner was abusive. Now she is stress eating because of her fears about her past, not because of you. Be kind, be respectful, communicate like Jesus would, and it should work out. Even if she gets disrespectful, that is the fear. Story 48. Honey, I am concerned about your health. Let's go to the doctor and get some lab work done because I love and care about you. When she asks what you are concerned about, you can say that you have noticed significant weight gain and increased emotional sensitivity. Look up medical issues that include these symptoms and say you want to rule out health concerns before discussing how unhealthy the weight gain has become. Emphasize that you want to help her be healthy and happy, and that starts with taking care of her body. Story 49. Hey, the gym is getting a bit boring for me, and I could use the boost of having you there. Can we adjust our schedule so you can be there for me at least twice a week? I'd love for us to spend more time together. Alternatively, you could include her in your routine with some activity you both enjoy during the week. If not the gym, maybe active sports like badminton or anything that gets her blood flowing. Story 50. What about getting fit together? You also get to spend more time together. When she sees progress, she might get motivated. However, if this is an issue with her character of not prioritizing her health or weight gain, I see it as a long-term issue unless you are able to look past her physical appearance and love her anyway. Story 51. She is not taking ownership when you point out something she has told you to point out, and you say that reduces your attraction to her. I am not really sure what your choices are aside from having a difficult conversation with her and being ready to break up over it. How are you supposed to manage these mixed signals potentially for the rest of your life? I would not honestly. It will only get worse. Story 52. You are with someone you feel you cannot communicate with. This is not going to work. The fact that the issue is about weight is irrelevant. Story 53. Honestly, you just need to rip the Band-Aid off and have an honest and very direct conversation. Do not hold back or try to sugarcoat it. She is going to get emotional and might even hate you for a few days, but it is the only way she will truly know she needs to make a change or she might lose you. Story 54. Humanity has split the atom, landed on the moon, and cured deadly diseases. Our ability to create technological wonders, however, has never solved the mystery of the great question. How do I tell my girlfriend she is gaining weight? You cannot. It is impossible. Like dividing by zero or achieving cold fusion. Good luck. Story 55. When I try to hint at it gently, she gets upset or shuts down. Stop being gentle. Sit her down and tell her. Either she can face an unpleasant truth or you have to leave. Story 56. I'm going to be the outsider here. Weight is not directly correlated to health, but shame around your weight is directly correlated to your mental and often physical health. It might be helpful to shift your perspective here. It's her body, and you have absolutely zero control over it. What you do have control over is contributing to her viewing her body in a more positive light and doing work by yourself to figure out why you are less physically attracted to her because she gained weight or people with more fat generally. I'm probably going to get downvoted for this, but fat phobia is real. You could really hurt her if you keep pushing the idea that she needs to lose weight. It sounds like you care about her, and genuinely, it would be profoundly helpful for her if you just accept and care for her as she is. Whether she chooses to lose weight or not is irrelevant. She might be really touchy about it because she's disgusted by her own body, and she may be trying to lose weight but be unable to, which is statistically very common. She may feel helpless and likely can see you are losing interest in her physically. She also probably hears all the diet culture nonsense all day, every day about how she's a gross, undisciplined failure of a person for having fat on her body. When you make comments, no matter how loving or kind, I would be surprised if it didn't bring up those kinds of feelings for her. Story 57. You have said that you have never had a preference for bigger women and have always feared that she would change from being chubby. If that has always been your stance, you cannot deny it, and she would be aware. At some point, you have made her aware, directly or indirectly, and it seems she finds that overwhelming. Your intention still seems focused on telling her, but I believe you already have. Story 58. If I were in your position, I would ask her directly if she wants me to support her, knowing that she has shut me down when I tried. If she says yes, I would ask her what she thinks will help her best. If her suggestion is something I have already tried, I would remind her how that ended up. If she comes up with something new and I am still willing to try, I would ask her what I should do if I get rebuffed again. since it indicates that I am doing something she does not like despite asking for my support. If she cannot come up with a satisfying explanation, I would be justified in asking for some space to let her sort things out. Since there is a wall between us, and she is rebuilding it faster than I can tear it down for her sake. Has she had any health checkups recently? Physical health risk is one thing, but it is also possible that there may be something else affecting her mentally or emotionally. Is she likely to shut down when you try to talk to her about how to help? Are other conversations with her as tense? Does she seem more or less on edge in her daily life? What does the full picture look like? Story 59. Would she take it personally if you said, "Hey, it is such a beautiful day, evening, or night out, isn't it? Would you like to take a stroll with me? I would really enjoy your company." Story 60. If you have always had a fear of her gaining weight, then just bow out. I would hate to think my partner loves me but also lies awake at night terrified that I am eating too many potatoes. Situations like this reveal value differences. Find someone who centers their existence on fitness and appearances they exist, and let her find a guy who is mostly indifferent to her gaining 20 pounds they exist too. Story 61. As a lifelong overweight person, I never needed anyone to remind me that I was unattractive. We know. We absolutely know. We don't need you to notify us. Story 62. She is very self-conscious about her weight and may have anxiety and avoidant tendencies. She likely knows she is gaining weight, and her statements are performative to some extent, showing that she cares about weight gain but feels threatened when it is pointed out, potentially because she is anxious or insecure. She may be trying to some extent but failing due to emotional eating or lacking nutritional knowledge, both of which need to be addressed. Exercise has benefits but could be a higher barrier to overcome for small weight gain compared to making changes in diet. It will be easier if she can find low-calorie alternatives to food she likes rather than only trying to eat healthy foods or engage in more physical activities. With anxiety, exposure to the anxiety trigger is unfortunately the only way to manage it. In time, with knowledge and success, she will gain confidence that she can handle it. It helps if she connects with weight loss-related content or friends who are going through a similar journey in real life. It is likely something she wants to change but has built up in her mind. It might be worth trying if it comes from someone she trusts, such as a close friend, family member, or a parent, in case other emotions are involved in interactions with you. Maybe another person with a similar body type could make her feel safer and more relatable. Story 63. She told you to tell her if she gained too much weight. Her actions show this is not true. She knows she has gained weight. How her clothes fit tells her. There is nothing you can say to her about it now that will not upset her, so you have three options. Accept it and tolerate it. Remind her she told you to tell her if she gained too much weight, and be prepared for the consequences. Leave. I wish there was a way to communicate what you need without her getting upset and for it to result in positive action. Unfortunately, I do not think it is possible. She might take positive action, but it seems likely she will get upset with you and may end the relationship if you speak up. Story 64. You don't. You just silently lose interest and resent her for not caring enough to hear constructive concern. Your opinion is not valued, and you cannot force her to wake up. She is willing to let her standards slip under the safety of your relationship. This will affect all aspects of her until she has a serious wake-up call. She will twist the situation into something it is not and blame anyone but herself. You are not obligated to maintain the relationship, and all routes lead to you looking like an asshole. While obvious health concerns may play a factor, the real issue is that you are not valued in your concerns, wants, and needs, and she would rather attack than open the dialogue. Story 65. Overeating while being sensitive about weight indicates she is mentally unwell. Something is causing her significant stress, and she is not coping well. At some point, you will need to have an open, awkward conversation. There is no way to discuss this without some discomfort. Story 66. Leave her. Don't kid yourself that she doesn't know she has gained weight. If you are no longer attracted to her, you are not doing either of you any favors by staying with her. She deserves someone who finds her attractive for who she is, regardless of her weight. Story 67. How old is she? Not that it makes a difference. She might take offense because she has a history of issues with her body image and problems with weight. If you have a strong relationship, you should be able to talk about it. Story 68. If you have hinted that she needs to eat healthier and she has taken the hint but has not taken measures to improve herself, she has answered your question. If she does lose weight because of what you suggest or say, she will forever resent you and tell all her friends how harmful you are. I am sorry, but that is the truth. She clearly does not want to hear it but pretends to be open to communication. If my partner even half suggested my health was becoming a problem, I would notice it. This applies to everything. When I was drinking and it became an issue, she gave a hint or two, and I understood. 2 years off alcohol, by the way. You cannot win this battle, so either accept it or move on. Story 69. Just say it, you coward. Tell her she is ruining the relationship. But it was a night of fun. Story 70. What would you do if you were in my position? If she is not willing to do anything about it, then break up. I am not going to end up stuck with someone overweight 10 years down the line. I can assure you, I have seen this many times. What started as 5 to 10 pounds overweight explodes to 30 to 50 or more pounds within 5 to 10 years. Seen it enough times. The guys always look miserable or disgusted but have no courage to do anything. Her future. I feel like I am walking on eggshells. Also, read the original poster's comments. This guy has no courage. You cannot play it both ways. Pick a side and go with it. Story 71. End the relationship if her well-being is not important to her. Cut your losses now before it is too late. There will be more serious issues down the road that you do not want to encounter if it is already this difficult in the relationship. Story 72. Love all the women of Ask Men telling you to just ignore it. Anything to avoid accountability. I had to do this last week. I tried to tell her I cared for her but was losing attraction. I was met with, I'm not that fat. If you like me, you wouldn't care. You're an asshole. Heaps of guys want to be with me. I'm hot still. My friends tell me I'm not fat. This was after a few months of her complaining about gaining weight. There's really not a lot that's going to fix this. It boils down to whether she thinks it's important that her partner is attracted to her. She probably won't care. Or if she's an entitled type of woman like in this thread. The only way I'd see it possibly going better for you than it did for me is if you fully embrace the health aspect of it. Framing it like you want to have a long life together, and that means cleaning up your diet. This will only work if you live together though. If you don't, then you're basically stuck, as she has already shown she has the self-discipline of a child. Even though it's probably going to end in a breakup, she really needs to understand that her overeating is what cost the relationship. That way she can decide to self-improve or find someone with different preferences next time. Seriously, it's not hard to maintain a healthy weight, and everyone knows excess weight is typically unappealing to most. Story 73. Well, though Spot, I'd sit her down for a real conversation instead of hints. Like, I know this is a sensitive subject for you, and I know you'll find it hard to hear, but you've also told me to tell you in time, and I want to be honest with you so our relationship doesn't go down the drain. Honey, I love you very much, but you've gained a bit too much weight, and I'd love for you to lose some. She'll be hurt, all right, but at least now it's one time, straight up, clear and done. Instead of the continued hints that hurt her, and when you lose attraction, it'll obviously also hurt her. Then it's up to her to feel her feelings and decide whether you're worth slimming down for or not. That last line was just a joke, by the way. Good luck, man. End the conversation with some love. She'll be fine. Story 74. There's only one way to deal with this. A real tough conversation. You have to sit down for a formal conversation, not something in passing, not a comment here or there. A we need to talk situation. The compliment sandwich works well here. Start with a positive, then introduce the negative, then end with a positive. Your girlfriend sounds like she has major self-esteem issues and also major communication issues. If she is telling you, tell me if I get too fat, but then brushes it off when you make a comment, that is the worst type of communicator. Mixed signals not only don't help, they confuse you further. You have to address this. Many people sugarcoat and beat around the bush, trying to spare feelings by watering down their own emotions, and it only hurts both of you because it's not the real whole truth. I would personally say something like, we need to talk. You need to let me speak my piece before you respond. I want us to work together as a team on this. It's not me versus you. It's us versus the problem. I love you. I want this relationship to work. Compliment things you like about her. Lately, your change in appearance has me concerned. Ask about her mental health, voice concerns over physical health, and bring up how, if this continues, you may not find her attractive anymore. Don't bring up problems without solutions. Present concrete solutions on how you can both help with her losing weight. Bring up the communication problems and how it is brutal and unfair to tell you one thing and then react another way. Reiterate how it is you as a team, what you like about her, and that you are optimistic going forward. Story 75. Just say, "Babe, I think you have put on 50 pounds since we have been together. I am going to start cooking healthier food for us." Act like it is your fault she has gained weight, and now you are going to help her lose it. She will be hurt a bit, but you cannot have a long relationship with someone if you can never have real conversations with them. Story 76. 1. Plan a nice surprise date. 2. Lay some of her shoes and one of her favorite dresses on the bed that fit her well a year ago. 3. Tell her to put on the outfit you love that you laid out for her because you are going on a surprise date. 4. Handle the outcome gently and cautiously, but use it as a conversation starting point that you have meticulously planned to sound spontaneous. 5. Never tell anyone you planned it this way. Story 77. My ex used to be honest with me about it. Of course, he didn't tell me, "I'm not attracted to you." But he would say, "I won't lie to you if you're gaining weight because I want the best for you and your health." It is a very sensitive discussion, so no matter how gentle the words, it will be hard. Maybe motivate her by going with her to the gym or buying her smaller size clothes. Story 78. Have a calm, loving sit-down conversation with her. Be honest and direct, but emphasize the love and your wish to remain together. Bodies change over time due to hormonal issues, pregnancies, life changes, and more. I wish my partner had told me years ago. I didn't know it bothered him or that he was losing attraction. His trying to spare my feelings caused more heartache in the long run. I've been working on it. Things are getting better, but I wish I had known when it started. It would have been easier to make changes. Also, if she can't accept your feelings, then there are bigger problems. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.